Okay, here is the second example. I have x squared minus 6x plus 10 equals 0. So you can either use quadratic formula like the other example that we done. However, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this problem with a new method. And this method called completing the square. So here we go. All right. First, we have to look at the leading coefficient. We want to make sure the leading coefficient is 1. It must be 1, positive 1. Then I will rewrite this equation by moving the 10 to the other side of the equal and change the sign. So it's from positive 10 to negative 10. Okay, and do you see that I have a space here? That means I need to fill in the plane. Okay, now what should we put in here? Here's how we find it. Okay, I will take 6, which is the coefficient of the x term. That means the second coefficient. Then I divide by 2. This will give me 3. Then I take this 3 and I square it. Okay? With that speaking, 3 squared is 9. So I am going to put that number 9 into this space. And this 9, it wasn't there as the beginning. This 9, I just borrowed from here, right? So I have to do the same thing on the other side for this equation in order to keep it balanced. Okay, now we can simplify the expression on the right, which gives us negative 1. Over here, we are going to factor. And the good thing about the completing the square, you already know what to put in your factor is. It's going to be x minus 3 squared. And this 3 is the 3 that we found from here. Okay? Here is a negative because the middle term is a negative. Now, you have a new quadratic equations. In order to solve these, we are going to take the square root both sides. So let's take square root both sides. We have the square root of x minus 3 quantity squared equal the square root of negative 1. And when you take the square root, you know there will be 2 answers, plus and minus. Okay, then we are going to simplify this. The square root and the square undo each other. So on the left, you will have x minus 3. On the right, you will have plus and minus I. Okay, we want to solve for x, so we add 3 both sides. Then the answer is 3 plus and minus I. Okay, so here is the second example solving a quadratic equation using completing the square method with complex answer.